Have you ever looked around and wondered why it seems like everyone is obsessed with having lots of friends? Social media is full of people bragging about their huge circles, constantly surrounded by others, and it's easy to feel like you're somehow missing out if your circle is smaller. But what if I told you that having fewer friends might actually be a strength, not a weakness? Imagine this. You, thriving with a select few people in your life, or even on your own, and feeling more confident, focused, and empowered than ever. By the end of this video, you'll understand why having a smaller social circle isn't something to feel insecure about. In fact, it could be one of the smartest decisions you'll ever make. Stay with me, and I promise, your perspective on friendships, solitude, and your personal growth will never be the same. If this resonates with you already, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's dive deep into why having fewer friends can make you stronger than you ever thought possible. Rule number 1, fewer friends, fewer distractions. More time for you. We all know that having friends can be great. There's always someone to talk to, hang out with, or lean on. But here's the other side. Friends, especially a lot of them, come with distractions. Think about it. How much time do you spend maintaining casual friendships, going to social gatherings, or just texting back and forth with people you aren't super close with? All of that takes time, energy, and focus away from things that truly matter to you. Now, what happens when you don't have that constant need for social interaction? You gain something incredibly valuable: your time back. With fewer distractions pulling at your attention, you can channel all that energy into yourself. This is where the real power lies. Instead of spending your mental energy juggling shallow conversations or keeping up with a large number of friends, you can use that energy to grow, learn, and achieve your goals. You've probably heard the phrase, less is more. When it comes to friends, that's 100% true. Having fewer friends allows you to go deeper into your personal goals, focus more intensely, and truly get to know yourself. Whether it's mastering a new skill, pursuing a passion, or building your career, less social distraction means more focus on what really matters. Imagine waking up every day and knowing that all of your time and energy is going into the things that move your life forward. No more stretching yourself thin across social events that don't add value to your life. No more feeling overwhelmed by too many relationships to manage. With fewer friends, you can build a life that's more intentional and focused. And trust me, that's a game changer. Rule number 2. True confidence doesn't come from social approval. Let's talk about confidence for a second. In a world where people constantly seek approval from others through likes, comments, and how many people show up to their parties, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that more friends equals more confidence. But let's be honest. Confidence doesn't come from the number of friends you have. Real confidence comes from within. When you have fewer friends, you stop relying on others to validate your worth. Think about it. How many times have you felt like you needed someone to approve of your choices, whether it's your fashion, career, or even just a small decision, like what movie to watch? When you're not surrounded by a large group of people, you naturally start to trust your own judgment more. You become the authority on what's right for you, rather than looking to others for approval. This kind of self-reliance builds unshakable confidence. Imagine walking through life without constantly wondering, what will they think of me? When you're not seeking validation from others, your confidence doesn't waver based on what people say, do, or think. You know who you are, and that sense of self isn't tied to how many people you can count as friends. By stepping away from the need for constant social approval, you develop a confidence that's real, solid, grounded, and independent of outside influences. This is the kind of confidence that doesn't just help you survive, it helps you thrive. It's the type of self-assurance that allows you to take risks, make bold decisions, and live life on your own terms, without the need to fit into anyone else's mold. Rule number 3, quality over quantity. The power of fewer, deeper connections. Now, just because you have fewer friends doesn't mean you're alone. In fact, it means the opposite. You probably have deeper, more meaningful connections. There's a saying, it's better to have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. When you have fewer friends, those friendships are often much richer. you can invest more time, energy, and emotion into the relationships that truly matter. When you focus on quality over quantity, you build connections that last. These aren't surface-level friendships where you only talk about the weather or share memes. These are deep, meaningful relationships where you support each other through life's ups and downs. These are the people who will show up for you when things get tough, who will be there for you when you need them the most. And here's the thing. Fewer friends doesn't mean fewer social skills or that you're a loner. It just means you've become more selective about who you let into your life. You understand the value of true friendship, and you're willing to invest in people who truly care about you, not just the ones who are there for the fun times. This is where the real magic happens. You build a circle of people who get you, who align with your values, and who will stand by you, not just in the good times, but also when life gets hard. Having fewer but deeper friendships can feel like having your own personal support system, people who challenge you, inspire you, and help you grow. And in the end, isn't that the whole point of friendship? It's about having people in your life who make you better, not just more popular. Rule number 4, enhanced focus and sharper decision-making. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about decision-making. When you have fewer friends, you often find that you're able to make decisions more clearly and confidently. Why? Because there are fewer people influencing your choices. Think about how often your decisions, big or small, are impacted by the people around you. Maybe you wanted to pursue a certain career, but the thought of what your friends would say held you back. Or maybe you didn't move to a new city because you didn't want to leave your social circle behind. When you have fewer friends, you get to focus on what matters most to you. You're no longer juggling different opinions, expectations, and desires. Instead, you have the mental space to make choices that align with your values and what you truly want from life. This is where the power of having fewer friends really shines. Your decision-making becomes sharper, more intentional, and more aligned with your long-term goals. You start living life on your terms, rather than trying to fit into the mold of what your social circle expects. Imagine how freeing that is. Making decisions based on what's best for you, not what'll get you the most approval or keep you in the loop with your friends. With fewer voices in your ear, you gain clarity. This doesn't mean you stop listening to people altogether. It means you become more selective about whose advice you take and more thoughtful about your choices. And when you make decisions from a place of clarity, rather than pressure, those decisions are far more likely to lead you to success. Rule number 5. Solitude as a superpower. Here's something a lot of people get wrong. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, learning how to embrace solitude can be one of the most powerful tools for personal growth and inner peace. When you're constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to lose sight of who you really are. You're caught up in social dynamics, other people's expectations, and the general noise of life. But when you spend time alone, something amazing happens. You get to meet yourself. In those quiet moments, without distractions, you can reflect on your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. You can gain insight into what makes you happy, what stresses you out, and what truly matters to you. This kind of self-awareness is incredibly powerful because it allows you to make more intentional choices and live a life that feels more aligned with who you really are. Solitude isn't about isolation. It's about creating space for yourself to grow. It's in those moments of being alone that some of the best ideas, breakthroughs, and self-discoveries happen. Think about some of the world's most successful people. Many of them credit their time alone as the reason they've achieved greatness. Why? Because solitude allows you to think deeply, reflect meaningfully, and create without interruption. And the best part? Once you learn to enjoy your own company, you stop needing others for your happiness. You become more independent, more self-sufficient, and more grounded in who you are. You realize that your worth isn't tied to how many friends you have or how often you're invited out. Your worth comes from within. Rule number 6, resilience, standing strong in the face of challenges. Life throws challenges at all of us. It's a fact. But here's where having fewer friends can be a hidden advantage. When you don't have a large social circle to lean on, you learn to rely on yourself. And this, my friend, builds a level of resilience that's hard to shake. Facing challenges alone doesn't mean you're isolated or unsupported. It means you're tapping into your inner strength. When you handle tough situations on your own, you develop a kind of emotional resilience that few people ever experience. You become more resourceful, adaptable, and courageous. Think about it. When you're constantly surrounded by people, it's easy to rely on them for support. But what happens when they're not around? What happens when you have to face a challenge on your own? That's where your true strength is tested. And the more you face challenges independently, the stronger you become. This doesn't mean you never ask for help. It just means that you know you're capable of standing on your own 2 feet, even when life gets tough. This kind of resilience is a superpower because it allows you to handle whatever comes your way with grace, confidence, and calm. Rule number 7, living authentically, finding the freedom to be yourself. Let's wrap this up by talking about one of the most liberating aspects of having fewer friends: authenticity. When you're not constantly influenced by the opinions, expectations, and judgments of a large group of people, you have the freedom to live life your way. How often do we make choices based on what we think others expect from us? Whether it's the career we choose, the way we dress, or even how we spend our free time, social pressure can be incredibly powerful. But when you reduce your social circle, you also reduce the weight of those external expectations. You start to make choices that reflect who you truly are, not who society wants you to be. Living authentically means being true to yourself in everything you do. It means aligning your actions with your core values, passions, and desires, rather than conforming to the norms around you. This kind of freedom is priceless, and it's one of the greatest gifts that comes with having fewer friends. And here's the best part. When you live authentically, you attract people who truly appreciate you for who you are. You're no longer surrounded by superficial relationships or people who only like you for what you can do for them. Instead, you build genuine connections with people who respect and love the real you. So, what's the takeaway here? Having fewer friends doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're creating more space for what truly matters. Whether it's your personal growth, inner confidence, or the strength to face life's challenges head-on, fewer friends can lead to a life that's more focused, intentional, and aligned with who you really are. If this message hit home for you, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more insights that can transform the way you think about life. Remember, having fewer friends doesn't mean you're alone. It means you're walking your own path with purpose. And that's the ultimate sign of strength. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.